I stepped out of my car, the cool night air nipping at my face. I clutched my bag tightly, feeling the weight of my camera equipment inside. As I walked up the dimly lit street, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The houses loomed tall and dark, their windows like empty eyes watching my every move. I'd heard stories about yokai, those mysterious Japanese spirits that lurk in the shadows of everyday life, but I never thought I'd be actively seeking them out. Yet here I was, in a quiet Tokyo suburb, hoping to catch a glimpse of the supernatural. As I rounded a corner, I saw it. A flickering streetlight illuminated a figure standing motionless on the sidewalk. It was tall, impossibly thin, with limbs that seemed to stretch and bend in unnatural ways. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. The figure slowly turned its head towards me, revealing a face that was nothing more than a blank, white mask. I fumbled for my camera, my hands shaking as I tried to focus the lens. But as I looked up from the viewfinder, the figure was gone, vanished into thin air, leaving me alone on the empty street. I took a deep breath, trying to calm my nerves. Was it real, or just a trick of the light and my overactive imagination? I wasn't sure, but I knew one thing. The line between our world and the world of yokai was thinner than I'd ever realized. As I continued my walk, I couldn't help but feel like I was being watched. Every rustle of leaves, every creaking floorboard from the houses I passed seemed to whisper of hidden presences. The yokai weren't just stories anymore. Te were erle olarom, me blending seamlessly into the modern world. I approached a vending machine, its bright lights a stark contrast to the darkness around it. As I reached out to make a selection, I caught a glimpse of something in the reflection on the machine's surface. A pair of glowing eyes, watching me from the shadows. He spun around, but there was nothing there. My hand trembled as I inserted my coins and grabbed my drink. The cold can felt reassuring in my grip, a tangible reminder of the normal, everyday world. But as I took a sip, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd just had an encounter with a kappa, one of the mischievous water spirits of Japanese folklore. I continued my walk, my senses on high alert. The modern cityscape seemed to blur and shift, revealing glimpses of an older, more mysterious Japan. In the neon glow of a convenience store sign, I swore I saw the silhouette of a tanuki, its shape-shifting powers allowing it to blend in with the urban environment. As I passed a small shrine tucked between two office buildings, I heard the faint sound of bells. A chill ran down my spine as I remembered the stories of shrine maidens who turned into foxes at night. I quickened my pace, not daring to look back. The further I walked, the more I realized that the yokai weren't just remnants of the past. They had adapted, evolving alongside human society. The kitsune, once tricksters of the forest, now prowled the financial districts, their cunning finding new outlets in the world of business and technology. I paused at a crosswalk, waiting for the light to change. As I stood there, I felt a presence beside me. From the corner of my eye, I saw a businessman in a crisp suit, his face hidden by shadows. But when I turned to look directly at him, I gasped. For a split second, I saw not a man, but a creature with the head of a crow, its beady eyes gleaming with intelligence. The light changed, and I hurried across the street, my mind reeling. The Karasu Tengu, once guardians of sacred mountains, now walked among us in the guise of Saliemen. They navigated the concrete jungle with the same ease they once soared through forest canopies. As I approached a park, I heard the sound of children's laughter, but it was well past midnight, and the playground should have been empty. I peered through the gates, and my blood ran cold. Ghostly figures of children played on the swings and slides, their forms translucent in the moonlight. Zashiki Warashi, the child spirit said to bring good fortune to households, had found a new home in the abandoned playgrounds of a rapidly aging society. I raised my camera, hoping to capture evidence of what I was seeing. But as soon as I pressed the shutter, the spectral children vanished, leaving nothing but empty swings, swaying gently in the night breeze. My journey continued, each step revealing more of the hidden world that existed alongside our own. In a back alley, I stumbled upon a group of tanuki, their magical powers of transformation allowing them to take on human form. They sat around a makeshift table, playing pachinko and drinking sake, their laughter echoing off the walls. As Primera watch had fascinated, one of them turned and winked at me, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. I blinked, and suddenly they were gone, leaving behind nothing but empty cans and the lingering scent of alcohol. I found myself in a residential area, the houses dark and quiet. But as I passed one particular home, I noticed a strange glow coming from the windows. Peering inside, I saw a family gathered around a television, their faces illuminated by the screen's blue light. But something was off. Their movements were too stiff, their expressions frozen in unnatural smiles. With a jolt, I realized what I was seeing. Tsukumogami, the spirits of everyday objects, had possessed the family's electronics, the TV, the smartphones, the gaming consoles. All had come to life. Feeding off the family's energy as they sat in a trance-like state, I backed away from the window, my mind struggling to process what I'd seen. The yokai hadn't disappeared with the advent of technology. They'd simply found new forms to inhabit, new ways to interact with the human world. As the night wore on, I found myself in a bustling entertainment district. Neon signs flashed, and music poured from clubs and bars. But Ebenere, in the heart of modern Tokyo, the yokai were present. I saw a group of young women stumble out of a karaoke bar, giggling and supporting each other. But as they passed under a streetlight, their shadows revealed their true forms. Long-necked Rakarokubi, their elongated necks twisting and curling in impossible ways. In a dimly lit izakaya, I caught a glimpse of an old man sitting alone at the bar. His skin seemed to shimmer and shift, and I realized with a start that he was an operabi, a faceless ghost. He raised his sake cup in a silent toast, his featureless visage somehow conveying a sense of melancholy. As dawn approached, I found myself back where I'd started, my camera full of blurry, indistinct images that could never truly capture what I'd experienced. The yokai had revealed themselves to me, showing how they'd adapted to life in modern Japan. They weren't relics of the past, confined to old stories and ancient shrines. Where they are now, walking among us, riding the subway, working in offices, and haunting our digital devices. The line between their world and ours had blurred, creating a new mythology for the 21st century. As I got back into my car, exhausted but exhilarated, I couldn't help but wonder, how many yokai had I passed without noticing? How many times had I brushed shoulders with a kitsune on a crowded train, or shared an elevator with a tanuki in disguise? The sun began to rise, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. The yokai retreated to their hidden realms, leaving behind a city that seemed both familiar and strange. But I knew now that they were always there, just out of sight, waiting for the veil between worlds too thin once more. I started my car, ready to return to my normal life. But as I pulled away from the curb, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was in the back seat, watching me. I glanced in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see glowing eyes or a mischievous grin. But there was nothing there, nothing I could see. Anyway, and as I drove home through the awakening city, I realized that this was the true legacy of the yokai. In modern Japan, they were always there, just beyond our perception, reminding us that there's more to this world than what meets the eye. The monster that follows you home isn't always a physical creature. Sometimes, it's the knowledge that the world is stranger and more wonderful than we ever imagined, and in that knowledge lies both terror and beauty. A reminder that even in our technologically advanced society, there's still room for mystery and magic.